What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. So excited to finally make this episode. The off season is over. Training is done. The practice that has been put in over the past November, December, January, February, March, April, May, and now we're here in June. All that time and effort that has been put in since the fall of last year, we can finally put into practice. And I want to do a little recap today on what has been achieved over that little span and how this is going to propel me into competition season. Here we go. All right, so quick recap for those of you that are new to the channel. So last January of 2020, I challenged myself to break par by October 1st of 2020. And I ended up beating that by a month, hit under par by September 1st, was able to get my handicap to +1 by October 1st. Now, after hitting that milestone, I was gonna have to do a lot of work on my game to get to the next level of where I want to go. And so that was my 2021 golf goal, which is to get to a +6 handicap and turn professional this year. I spent the end of last year and all of this year up to this point training every single day, hours upon hours on end, to get to this point where now I can take what I've built with my golf game and bring it into competition to see how I perform in those settings and hopefully achieve those milestone goals. And it has been an absolute grind. I think I've taken maybe 5 days off. So it's been a lot of time and effort because obviously I have a big goal, and in order to make that happen, it's gonna require a lot of work. So I'm gonna take you through now all the work I've done to improve the areas of my game that are hopefully gonna make me very competitive in tournament play. Now, the number one thing I focused on when the off-season started was physical fitness. Reason being is that I noticed last year on the tail end of my under par journey, it was a real struggle to maintain a certain level of strength while playing a ton of golf, but also I noticed that the less I trained, the harder it was for me to hit certain shots, and it became actually more difficult to play golf being in worse shape. And so I immediately started working out as soon as that off-season started, and have prioritized working out 3 to 5 days a week at a minimum. Now, my goal for the off-season was to gain about 10 pounds. I'm about 6 pounds heavier than what I was. If you see, before and afters here of me kind of at the range, you'll see like my body type has changed pretty drastically for me. I still have to do, more work. I'm a tough gainer. My metabolism is so quick. Like, I'm taking weight gainer protein shakes on top of eating a stupid amount every day, and it's still just tough for me to gain weight. But what I have done is I fixed my back because I had scapular winging right here from just years of sitting at a computer, doing my day job. And then also too, I fixed my core and my lower back and reinforced my legs, because through years of sitting and just being like a normal person, our core muscles get really atrophied, and being able to hit shots, and even not even hit shots, like everyone obviously goes straight to Bryson hitting absolute bombs, but actually your core plays such a vital role in putting, chipping, a lot of small touch things that you don't realize until you have it, that it was a deficiency before. Trying to stay low during a chip shot and maintain your body posture. One thing I've been working on with my full swing is being able to turn properly and utilize my lower body and get through the ball. You can't do that if you don't prep your body. Your body is the engine of the swing, and I've learned that so much over this off season, that how crucial it is just for our own physical health and well-being as a human. But if you take care of your body and you can make sure you can swing the way you need to swing, it makes the game infinitely easier. So next on the docket is putting. I think I've probably spent cumulatively the most amount of time over the past whatever months, okay? I probably spend a minimum of 2 hours a day putting. I went through 3 putters this offseason, landed on the Odyssey White Hot OG, landed on left hand low as my putting grip, and this is the best putter I've ever been. The best putter I've ever been. Now, what I've learned throughout this offseason when it comes to putting is a couple things. One, speed is everything, okay? Speed is everything. If you can control your speed, you can put yourself in some really good positions when it comes to putting. And then the other thing is being able to then start that on the right line. If you can get your start line and your speed cooking, you put yourself in a really good position to start making putts. Now, for me, ending up on this combo, that is what this gives me. It gives me the best ability to control my speed and control my start line every single time. And as a result, I am making more putts and have more confidence on the greens than I've ever had since I've picked up a club in my entire existence of golf. Now, a big shout out to my coach, Chris, for that. He helped me with some body alignment things, just getting my body properly aligned with the putter face so that I could execute my stroke properly. That was huge. And then just reps upon reps of building confidence and understanding how I like to see putts, how I line up putts, how I look at breaks. And I can't explain to you how much better you feel when the putter starts working. And like the confidence I have now from the putter being able to work is so massive, because it makes 3 to 5 footers less scary. You know, the amount of time I spent on my under par journey last year just crumbling over 3 to 5 footers and losing birdies or losing par saves, it's so demoralizing. So now being able to be really, really good inside 10 feet is the goal. And as you guys can see here from some of these clips, like, I'm able to make a lot of putts now that just were never even in my wheelhouse of something I would consider last year, or even as you know, even a few months ago. There's been a lot of diligent practice, and I will be coming out with a series of putting videos on how I got to this point, because this was definitely one of the weakest elements of my game, and now it's a strength. Now, the next area is short game. I've spent an incredible amount of time on this, specifically over the past couple of months, especially after going through a bit of the yips I had in March. But I've come up with a technique that works for me. If you saw in my more recent video, I talk about how I've switched to a baseball grip with chipping. I have a wider stance, and I've just found a way where chipping becomes pretty much as automatic as it can be. Because I noticed when playing with more elite players, their short game is just so tidy. They really don't screw up the way normal golfers screw up when it comes to short game. If they put themselves out of position, they can very quickly course correct and get up and down for par an astounding amount of times. And so I have put a incredible amount of effort into doing that. On top of my putting practice every day, I then do chipping and putting practice at the practice hole every morning for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, just to grind and get to that elite level, because I've seen how these guys play under pressure, and it's incredible. But it's what's required is just to be that dialed in, and not only to save yourself, but also to put yourself in positions to score. You know, how many times do you end up really striping one on a par 5 on your second shot, you're close to the green, and you can chip it close to get yourself a birdie? It's also being able to take advantage of those opportunities, as opposed to always just bailing yourself out of trouble. But having that balance and now having this technique that works for me has just built a ton of confidence. I finally had some strokes game positive rounds with my short game, which is really, really cool. So close the gap there, and that is now a part of the bag that I am so comfortable and confident with, because of how good my short game is now. Now we're gonna go to the big major overhaul of this offseason, which was completely rebuilding my swing. Now, once my body started getting back into better shape towards the end of November, I started investigating options on how to rebuild my swing. And if you've been watching any of my videos up to this point, you know I settled on the George Gankus program, and guys, I still stand by it. That is the best money I have ever spent. I should have done this last year. I would have been much further along in this process had I just done this at the beginning. I would have saved myself so much time and money on gear and so many other things had I just fixed my swing from the beginning. And here's the perfect example right here, okay? This is me at the beginning of off-season training, okay? That is disgusting. Now, that was functional in the sense that I could play good golf, but that was never gonna allow me to become elite. This is how I swing it now. Like, this is infinitely better. This golf swing feels infinitely better. I hit it so much more consistently. I'm able to play golf at an entirely different level now as a result of doing that program. And it's simple things from just how I set up to the ball to how I now use my natural biomechanics to my advantage, then use the workouts I'm doing with this better technique to build more speed. All of it just comes together perfectly. And I'm seeing the results of that now. My ball striking has just never been this good. This is the best I've ever hit a golf ball ever. Like, I cannot ask for more except to just continue progressing from this point. And all of that has to do with getting your body right and then getting the right swing to marry with it. To just show you how drastic the progress is, like, obviously you can see from the types of swings, like my old swing is a flaming pile of garbage compared to my new swing. But back in October, before I started my off-season training, I went on a TrackMan and did a quick little test because I wanted to get just some baseline numbers, okay? With my 7-iron, my peak swing speed was 88 miles per hour. 2 weeks ago, I was able to get on a GC quad at Titan Golf, and my swing speed with a 7-iron was 101 miles per hour. And that's not even me really going for it with that 7-iron. So who knows what my actual top end speed is, versus I know that 88 in October was me like trying. So that's a 13 mile per hour speed gain just from working out and fixing my swing. And that translates to throughout the bag. You've seen with my driver, I was swinging at 114 back in October when I did the same test, and now I can easily cross 130. My goal was to get to 135 by the end of off-season training, but I kind of dialed back a lot of the speed training only because I've been focusing more on control. A lot of the courses I'm going to be playing in my tournaments are tighter, and so hitting more control drives was more of a priority. But now my stock swing speed, I can hit a really controlled drive at 126 miles per hour to 128, and it doesn't look like I'm swinging that hard. My body can handle that kind of torque, and it really is no extra effort to do that. And so that has been just an incredible development, and I'm so happy I stuck with that and really took the time to rebuild my swing. And having this extra time because of the lockdowns and the restrictions has helped, because I got an extra real 2 months of working out and swing work. And in this last little bit, I've been grinding really hard on getting my trail arm just right in my swing, and it's all really come together now where I'm so confident with how I hit the ball. Another coach you hear me reference a lot is my coach Max, who has helped kind of really tighten all the things I've done in the Genghis program, just help accelerate my learning curve, and he's been a massive help. And so now just all of these things converging has just been really exactly what I had hoped going into competition season. What's been really interesting too with the gains in speed is that obviously, yes, there have been distance gains. You know, with my driver now, in the right conditions on a good day, like I can carry it well over 320, no problem. So, it's not a question of how far I can hit it. Where I've found the benefits of rebuilding my swing and spending so much time on improving my physical body is actually in the control and in the consistency of which I'm able to hit all of my clubs. You know, especially if you're going to look at like a 4-iron as an example, right? A 4-iron is a scary club for a lot of golfers because it's a tough club to hit. And it was a tough club historically for me to hit. But I realized that the reason why it was tough was not actually from a lack of ability. It was from a lack of fitness. It was from a lack of ability to turn through the ball properly, utilizing my body correctly with the right mechanics of a good swing, with the added benefit of physical fitness. By spending so much time on that, there's no club in my bag that scares me. I look forward to hitting 4-irons because I know I can absolutely crush them. It's not even hard anymore to hit a 4-iron. And where that comes into play a lot is, obviously off the tee, if I need to punch a 4-iron into a tight par 4, I can do that. As well as approach game on par 4s, par 5s. If I have a long approach in, I can take advantage of that approach without really being scared that I am incapable of hitting that club. And that is also just an interesting aspect for the mental game, to just know that physically you've got everything covered. Knowing that you can hit the shot physically really alleviates a lot of that unnecessary stress. And then it all comes down to the actual mental game. And this brings us to the final frontier of the off-season grind. That's the mental game. I have been working a ton on this through various aspects. Obviously, one way to improve the mental game is to improve your hard skills. So, guys, what gives me the audacity to even go after this goal is I went from never, like in my music career, right? I went from never knowing how to engineer anything to contributing to a platinum selling album for Shawn Mendes within 3 years of audio engineering. Okay, so I'm in year 1 of a 3-year kind of first phase here with golf, right? And so obviously a lot of that comes with hurdles, and a lot of that comes with, overcoming some of those mental gaps. And a quick way to kind of alleviate a lot of the mental stress is honestly through just consistent practice and focusing on the craft. And over the past few months, that has been a huge unlock, because as I've cleaned up the physical aspects of my game, the things I can control from a physical standpoint, I put in that work so diligently and with so much intention that is no longer the reason why I make errors. Obviously, yes, I'm not perfect, and there will be some technical mishaps that occur, but the bulk of my errors come from either a lack of mental focus or poor self-talk and negative self-talk. And so I've been working a ton now on that aspect, which is really what separates people who are amazing at what they do from people that are just adequate. And I've been very vocal on this channel about, my ups and downs with that side of the game and how it's affected me and how it's adversely kind of hindered some of my progress. But I don't know, it just through, again, consistently putting in the work, just like you put in your work on your physical skills, you have to also put in that same level of diligence to your mental skills. And it's been really cool over the past couple weeks. I've kind of made a pretty drastic turn through taking care of some things that were weighing me down and dealing with some of those things, and also just coming out here with a fresh perspective and reminding myself that I love golf. Like, I don't want to be anywhere else right now. I really don't. So I remind myself out here, how lucky I am to be out here. I spent a lot of my life not getting to play golf, and so now I get to play it so often and taking advantage of that. Now I can play it well because of all the work I've done. And so just kind of rallying myself in that capacity, has brought a fresh perspective. And what excites me even more about all this too is I feel ready to compete now. I think that's also the big benefit that this extra off-season break has done for me, is it's given me the time to prepare myself to be ready to compete, to want to compete, to put myself out there and see what I'm capable of. I don't think I was ready for that a couple months ago. And, even a couple weeks ago, I was still kind of back and forth, and just through doing this process and being so diligent with it, I feel ready. I'm excited. I want to compete. I want to play golf. I want to play golf, and I want to play high level golf, and I want to compete, and I want to talk trash on the course, and I want to kind of, be a part of that element of competitive golf, and I feel ready for it. So with that, I'm excited to announce tournaments are booked. The off season is over. It is game time. It is time to put into practice everything I've been talking about. Course vlogs are coming. Tournament vlogs are coming. It's all coming, guys. Now, if there's anything else you want to know about off-season or stuff I've done, please comment below. I will answer everything and try and point you in the right direction. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I appreciate all of your comments, support, and everything through these past couple months while I've been grinding. I'm excited to now bring you guys along to this next stage, and let's just see what happens. So thank you again. I will catch you on the next one.